I mean, one of our mantras is you never take on any project without a workshop. So if you're going to hire an agency or you're considering hiring an agency, don't worry about booking the big project, just book a workshop.
So Steve, we've been involved in a number of web projects over the years here at Bespoke, and we've learned that what you do in the beginning of the process really leads to a successful outcome.
Yeah.
So what would you say are the key things that we need to think about at the beginning of a web build?
Yeah, so what we see is the way a client approaches us and what they've done before they approach us can actually completely change how a project goes and how successful that website is for them. And actually we've got to sort of, sometimes we find ourselves telling the client to sort of stop and go back and sort of do some work and have a think. So there are some things that happen before the project that completely change what happens during the project, completely change the outcome. So the most fundamental thing is engaging with a matched agency.
Yeah.
And by matched, we mean that's somebody that's busy in your sector, that's built lots of websites in your sector, that's working with companies of your size. Has got some track record. They can maybe talk about 20 or 30 similar projects. Yeah. And if we set up a call with that agency, you could do this with more than one agency. They'd be able to describe a history of projects and say things like the last 10 or 20 similar projects we've done have all included this section, these tactics, maybe this kind of lead magnet. And that's what people are booking and that's what's working. And if you plan that sort of project, it's likely to work for you. But you'll only get that information if you're speaking with a matched agency. If you're a speaker, we're busy in B2B and lead gen, aren't we? But if an e-commerce online shop came to us, we couldn't give them that information. We don't have that experience. And, if somebody wanted an app building, we couldn't give them that experience. But the same the other way around as well. So you want to specialist agencies, I think the first thing.
Okay.
And there's other things. So I think one thing is how you prepare your brief. You've seen some briefs that we receive and it's the finished, a complete system. I think we've had some that are 17 pages, 25 pages, this sort of thing. Yeah. And it's the finished thing and it's you can see it's sort of 6 months work.
Yeah.
And it's as if the company has made all its decisions about what's going to be in this finished website. But we find it a lot more successful to work with somebody who's got an outline of a brief that's perhaps focused quite a lot around outcomes. So the outcome might be, look, we've got a website that currently gets us 10 leads a month. We actually want 20, or we get 10, but we want a better quality, or, this is to drive hundreds of leads for a new product, or maybe it's not for leads, maybe it's for visibility or some other function. Yeah. But if we're leading with outcome, I think that leaves open the scope for agencies to advise. Yeah. Actually, you can find you need far less than you thought with your website, so much smaller or simpler projects sometimes. Yeah. Lead with outcomes.
So at this point, you wouldn't say that we need specifics?
Maybe not. I think we had one last week, actually, which was, maybe it was 2 pages or 3 pages. And it was sort of saying, this is the aim, this is the outcome we're looking for, this is what we've currently got. We think these are the headings it probably needs. These are some assets that we've got. We've got this image library and video library and so on. And some ideas we're interested in is 1, 2, and 3. And from that, we can have a really, really productive conversation, a discovery call, like a 30 or 45-minute call. And we can really round that into something that's going to be a really successful project for the client. Yeah. Much easier to work with that than, a finished, completely set in stone brief. Yeah. So just starting with an outline brief, I think is a good one. And then thirdly and finally is, one of our mantras is you never take on any project without a workshop. So if you're going to hire an agency or you're considering hiring an agency, don't worry about booking the big project, just book a workshop with them. Have a half day, cover off your, profile your ideal customer together so everyone understands who this site's for. Start looking at it from the customer's side. We run a value proposition exercise so we understand all the products and services, and then build content pillars, and that'll steer the structure of the site towards something that's going to really work. And the secret with that, or the sort of magic ingredient with that, is when you've run that exercise and engaged with the agency that way, everybody's on board for the project. They've seen the origin of why the plan is how it is. Yeah. So everyone understands it. They're excited. You get a smooth project and you get a right first time end result that, properly performs for you.
Brilliant. Great. Thanks for that, Steve.
Good. Thank you.
Get your company's website performance score with this free tool. It takes 5 minutes to assess your website, and you get a free report with recommendations. Visit bespokedigital.agency/free.